Okay, this is Atlo Clark. Talk about comic books. Um, this is a response back to Collider Videos, Complex Media, or whatever. Collider Videos, Movie Talk, and Heroes, and in particular John Schnepp and the guys on there, and Robert Meyer Burnett has become the regular on there, and then we like Burnett because he loves Rob Liefeld. Anyway, and of course John Schnepp. You can't love that guy. Anyway, so enough of that praising stuff. So, you guys have watched this movie that you propped up, Batman vs Superman. Okay, I understand. I think I understand what's going on here. The fans have gotten to be like the comic book fans. The comic book movie fans have gotten to be like the comic book fans in a way, and it's gotten to be like the industry. Zack Snyder, beautiful pictures, beautiful rendering, story rendering looking, okay, but no ability to write script, no ability to write plot, to put a story together, okay. Knows how to draw. Basically, it's like we come to a time when comic books are like movies, whereas in comic books you have a penciler and you have the plotter or the scripter, okay? And then in movies you've got the director and you've got the writer. So we've got to this point where the director is like the penciler, kinda, and he does mostly action, okay? And then the writers do the rest. It's different. So what it is Zack Snyder did a great job for the visuals. The thing is, you got to get someone in there that writes. So, with this being said, it's a good movie. But I agree with John Schnepp. It looks like a bunch of clips just thrown together for maybe advertisement for a comic book or a movie coming out. I don't know. The movie, but yeah, it's to that point. It's kind of like with Rob Liefeld. You look at Rob Liefeld. Yeah, wonderful panels, great art, of course he makes some blunders once in a while, so who doesn't? Anyway, the point is, but Rob Liefeld on his own as a writer, you don't get much good out of him. I mean, he can put a panel out, he can put some stories down, he can put some action out there, but it's great action shots, but without a good writer, no good. So, it's got to that point with movies now, especially these comic book movies. So remember, you've got to hire nerds that know what they are doing. Okay? So, and the movie, I want to comment more about that movie later. Okay? But I just wanted to address that. The movie was alright. You guys got your expectations way high, and everyone else's too, on Movie Talk. So, I think that's one of your problems. You did that with Fantastic Four, too. So, I think that's one of the problems that you guys get yourself into, is you guys walk into these movies with way higher expectations than you should, because you guys hype it up. And you're a sweaty nerd like me, so you love to listen to the hype and think about it and add to why this and that, and then by the time we go see the movie, we've made it a better movie in our mind the way we think it should be, and then that's why our expectations are higher than. But Zack Snyder's visuals and like I said, it's like Rob Liefeld. You got to pair Rob Liefeld with a good writer, or you're not going to have a bang up comic book. Okay, you're not going to have a bang up movie if you just pair up. So it's the same thing. Writer, artist, or scripter, penciler, scripter, writer, or director / writer. You got to get a good writer in there. So keep Zack Snyder, okay? Don't just run away from Zack Snyder. No, that's not what you need to do. You guys need to just realize that he needs help in that department, and putting the stories, this editing is wrong. But take your time a little bit better and do a better job. That's all and I think that you can still salvage this. You know, this isn't a complete failure. There's a lot of the movie I liked. Of course, like everyone else, I like the Batman stuff. You can keep the extra violent Batman, but maybe he snapped. You know, that kind of adds to the flavor of the week. But whatever, you know. So that was my address on that movie. I saw it. You guys hyped it up forever. It was going to be, you know, no doubt it was going to be great. You know, no doubt it's going to be great. No doubt it's going to be great. Well, you guys, are you doubting Thomas's yet? Because you guys send this about these movies, and then you guys get us, and it's part of the energies. You know, you got to get energized the power base, but part of the hype that gets us all out there. But at the same time, it's like you get everyone psyched up for a movie, and then it sucks, or it's not as great as we all want it to be, and then we get disappointed. I went into the movie, at first I had high expectations for this movie, and then I started to get this feeling just watching the trailers and the way it was going about that something didn't feel right. So I said, alright, don't let the hype get you. When you watch the movie, just go into it with lower expectations, and I did, and the movie was alright. It's pretty good, you know. So, I didn't like the origins. I would agree with you, Schnepp. It looked like a 1950s for the cyborg origin, just this weird swirling stuff, and it didn't explain anything. I don't even think they showed Cyborg even really, like, all fully formed. What else? There's some other stuff, but we'll talk about that when I'm running out of time, I think. You know, but I also want to hit up on the fact that they are following some of the stories from the Death of Superman line. During that time, Lex Luthor had either a clone or a son or something that had red hair and a beard, long red hair and a beard, okay, that was doing wacky stuff during the Death of Superman. And then the regular Lex came back, or the real Lex came back, or whatever. He was in a younger clone body. You could say it was his son. Whatever it was, I'm not sure if it was his son or a clone. But anyway, he had long hair and it was red. So if you look back at that stuff, this Lex, and they said he was a junior, so if this other Lex is either dead or just hasn't, maybe they just haven't shown that, hey, you haven't even seen, this is just what Lex Jr. does. You haven't even seen Lex Sr. yet. Maybe you haven't seen him, or maybe he can use that Kryptonian DNA machine to bring back his father with some of his own blood, and it could be his father with all the memories intact, because these machines bring him back with their memories intact as well. So, so that could be what it could be, and if it's not, that's how they could turn it around. It's just, hey, you haven't even seen the real Lex yet, and then show us a real mature Lex in a what we all want to see is a mature, level-headed, smart Lex that knows how to not be crazy in public, but is crazy behind the scenes. Okay, Bohemian Grove nut. Okay, but behind the scenes, because remember, Lex wants to convince everybody he's the level-headed one, and that Superman is the nut. Superman is the fanatic. Superman is the enemy. You cannot point this out to people and be all zany and be like the Riddler, you know. Okay, you're not Cesar Romero or whatever, you know, the Joker in the 60s. It's just weird. So, maybe make that, hey, you guys haven't even seen nothing yet, and that's Lex Jr. And Lex Sr. hasn't even shown up. That's how you can spin it and turn it. Please do this. Don't change out the character, just add a new character and say that wasn't even the character you thought it was fully. This is the son. You haven't even seen the full evil yet. That's what they could do. He returns from his overseas business, or you could bring him back with that Kryptonian DNA thing. Yeah. So Jesse Eisenberg, I liked his performance, but it wasn't right for this character. So You know, remember, Lex has to convince everyone he's the smart one, he's the right one, he's the conservative one. He's the one thinking for the people, too, at the same time. And what's safe, what's right. He's got to convince you he's the one that's got the right level head. And that people supporting Superman, alien freaks, are the nuts. So, you can't walk around acting nuts and then expect people to take you seriously when you start talking about an alien that people are basically is a god, you know. So, anyway, that's a couple of the issues, but you can turn the movie around, but, you know, I'm going to hit up on some other points later. The trash man's here. It's kind of loud. Alright, at Love Clark, and this is just a comment and shout out back to Collider Videos and Movie Talk Heroes, okay, John Schnepp.